And so when he's managing down, he's making all of us comfortable. He's engaging his audience. He's telling us he listened. And so that made us a little bit more comfortable, so managing up made it a little bit more comfortable. But if you don't have that type of management, you can still break through. And that's by understanding who they are, networking, knowing other people who are going to be in the meeting who have your back. That helps as well. So do some networking, do some preparation, do some listening. Make sure you can respond quickly, be clear, concise, be honest. So when you give feedback on the managing down piece, positive, negative, positive, the Oreo cookie, make sure they feel good when it's all over. What I've learned is that people just want to know. They want to know the honest feedback. And if I'm really not doing well, I want you to tell me that I'm not doing well. Maybe do whatever you can to find something good in it, but don't force it. Don't force that piece in the conversation. It's the same thing managing up. Have you noticed that I've switched back and forth between managing up, down, and around? That's intentional. You're not finding a whole lot of differences. If there is a problem going on, I don't want to withhold that problem from my manager until it's fixed, because guess what happens? That snowball turns into a whole avalanche. But what you want to do is escalate it and be honest. Because all they want to do is know honestly what that problem is. But, here's the but. Don't be a problem dumper. What do I mean by that?
Go to someone with a problem, make sure they have a resolution or an idea.
Or an idea, or an opinion, or a resolution, or an action, or something that you've already thought of. And you're going to give plan A, B, and C, and guess what your manager's going to do? They're going to say, I like plan D. But that's okay. Because if you just say, we have a problem and I don't know what to do, and you have a reputation of saying, I have a problem and don't know what to do, you just become a problem dumper. So the problem solver is the one who comes in and says, here's plan A, B, and C, and even if you don't like either one of those plans and you come up with D, I may just give you a little tidbit of enough to come up with that. Engage other people within those problems. That's where your peers come in. They may have already gone through a problem. Talk to a mentor, someone who's been through that problem, and ask what they've done to solve this. I grew professionally when I started hitting my problems head on. Admitting it was half the problem. The other half was trying to figure out how to fix it. And you start to realize that you can make mistakes and you can grow, and your managers will appreciate that. They will appreciate the growth that goes along with it. They'll appreciate the fact that you're taking accountability for your own mistakes. They'll appreciate the fact that you're willing to now learn and do more with it. Make mistakes. And that includes saying some don't to your manager. It means saying some things that kind of just blurt out. But if you are making those mistakes, it happens. If you're passionate about it, but you're trying and putting the effort in to use the facts to make those decisions. If you have a problem that's in front of you and you've prepared enough to come up with some resolutions, people are going to come back and say, at least you put the effort in. You're not going to always have the answers. You're not going to always have the creative home run idea. Don't worry about the home run idea. Worry about the bunch of little ones that will add up to the big one later on. A couple of points that are in there I'd love to address. One is do more than it's asked of you. And it doesn't mean go in and make it so pretty and so over-engineered that it was a waste of your time. But if you're asked to do A, B, and C, you can add in your own D. But that brings me back to the first one. When your manager asks you to do something, you have the right and obligation to clarify and confirm what they're asking. They might have just said in passing, hey, I need that immediately, thanks. What is it? What is immediate? Immediately to them might be by the end of the month. But if you don't ask those questions outright, you're going to have a problem. Because now you have a miscommunication, which is going to cause 98% of the problems in the world. So get that clarity and make sure you're asking the questions of your manager. That's how you manage up effectively. You ask those types of questions. There's another piece that's in there too, and that's guessing. Don't make it up. Don't guess. Don't say, here's what I think, if you truly don't know the answer and it's something pretty critical. There's a lot of stuff that's swirling around right now and the rumor mills run amok. Don't be a creator of the rumor mill. Don't be a spreader of the rumor mill. Create facts. And if you get a question, nothing earns more respect than saying, I don't know, follow it up with an answer later on. So you can say, I don't know, but you have to carry it all the way through to fruition of coming up with something.
Any thoughts on how you break through to that or help with that?
The question was, how do you make everyone like me? And that's really what you're saying. Every time you're mentoring, how do I make you like me? You don't. You can't. You shouldn't. You have to respect the diversity, but what they should do is glean all the good things from you and all the good things from you and start to build off of those. There's this interesting saying that somebody said a long time ago to me. They said, I was frustrated. There's another person who frustrated me. And every single day, it's like, ah! And so finally I got this passive aggressive kind of whisper under your, God, they're not trying. They're not putting the effort in, or something along those lines. They just simply came up and said, huh? Nobody is not trying. And we sat down and we talked about nobody is not trying, because the English in that was a little bit concerning to me. But we chatted through it. And what he simply said to me was, they're putting in an effort, it's just not equal to the effort you're wanting from them. But why are they here? Do you understand what motivates them to come in every single day? My motivation was to become the best on the phone so I can become an assistant manager, so I can become a manager, so I can become a unit manager, so I can oversee and become an executive at this company, because I had those goals. Do they have to have those same goals? They wanted to come in every day and get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So as soon as I understood that motivation of, I'm never going to make them the next manager, nor do they ever want to be one, I had a connection. So now it's, what can I do to keep you employed here every day? And let's make sure we're not just working towards a minimum, but let me understand what your effort is. And so now I start to say, your effort is never going to make you the top performer, but can I boost you up this much? Can I boost you up this much? Can I boost you up this much? And boosting up, by the way, doesn't mean sitting them next to a top performer and saying, just be like them, because now you're falling into that trap again. So you have to figure out, once again, what motivates them, not what motivates me. And when you start listening to them and understanding, and you might even figure out that they're having a problem at home. And then you say, well, what can I do to help out with that problem at home? Are you in the right job? Are you in the right position? Are you on the right schedule? Have I asked those questions yet? Because if I ask all of those right questions, I can get you into the right place. People might work because they have to, because they like to, because they want to, but you don't know that until you ask and have that right conversation with them. So I had to learn to get over the frustration and figure out that they're trying at their level. They're trying in their eyes. My job was to change the definition of trying in my eyes, so then I can boost that up. Because if I can move their trying from working harder to working smarter, or working differently or more creatively and find that connection, then I can.
That sounding a little negative, and I didn't understand. So being self-aware.
I've made a lot of mistakes. I really have. And yet, if you don't understand where they are, or who they are, how to fix them, if you're blaming everyone else, we're not taking accountability. Because accountability is all through this. Managing up, down, and around. It's taking accountability of. You can't change someone else's behavior. You can't. can't change that until they're willing to change it, and you're willing to listen to them when they make that. So personality, you're definitely not going to change, but that behavior is not going to change until you finally find that connection, and then you can start doing it a little bit at a time. There was a comment.
So with self-awareness and then kind of factoring in frustration, not necessarily with managing down, with maybe having a peer that's frustrating, obviously we would go to take the higher ground, but how do you at the same time avoid that frustration when you know it's a peer that potentially isn't looking at having you help manage them and just maybe is intentionally being frustrating?
Intentional frustration. Have I ever told you about unprofessional days? I haven't. I had an unprofessional, what's today, Wednesday? I had an unprofessional Tuesday yesterday. We get frustrated, accept it, work through it, get over it, and then fix it. And my unprofessional days go both ways, for anyone who's ever worked with me and had any one of those unprofessional days. It works both ways where I'm frustrated and I can hit the mute button, to the screen. Sometimes that cures me. But other times I just need to vent and have a conversation with someone, and I'll ask them for some advice. Somebody was in my office today and said, "Do you have 10 minutes?" And they were in my office, and they didn't even know that they were venting to me and I was venting back. They didn't even realize. But these unprofessional days mean that people know that they have your ear and you have their back when you have these conversations. And just the fact that you're talking through it takes up that pent up frustration and lets it out. And then all of a sudden you might realize that there's some good that comes out of it. And those unprofessional days, and by the way, they're very well known to people who have ever worked with me, they go both ways, because someone will say to me, "Can I have an unprofessional day?" And it simply means that the door's closed and it stays here. Let's just talk it through. And we have these venting sessions, and then we say, "Okay, there's the problem. Now that you've just dumped it on me, how are you going to solve it?" And then we work through it together, and we become problem solvers, and we didn't even mean it, and we were trying to stay frustrated, or trying to get through the frustration. But here's the other part, though, with people who are being intentionally frustrated, who are stabbing your back, who are playing games. I once went on a fishing trip with my wife's old boyfriend's father.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
We went 40 miles out and we were shark fishing. You do the math. It was just the two of us.
Sounds like a
It felt like it. He actually had worked a long, long time ago at one of the originating banks of this company. He said that it's like Survivor. That the environment you're in is like Survivor. That you're trying to build those affinities. You're trying to build up people who like you and respect you, because at the end of the day, at the end of the show, they're the ones that are making the decision about it. So you're earning their trust and respect. And then there's going to be people that are out there playing games and stabbing your back, and guess what? You can either hit it head on, you can ignore it, or you can try to find some happy ground in between. And I'm not convinced with my peer that I will win. Oh, by the way, did I tell you at the game? I will win. And the reason I know I will win is because she will understand that she can't get anywhere without me. That I am going to be so good to her. And I'm going to provide her the things that she needs. I'm going to give her everything. I'm going to get her, I'm going to have her back. I'm going to support her. I'm going to kill her with kindness. And at the end of the day, she's going to look really good. And she can have all the credit in the world. But what will happen is, my boss can easily see through that. So I'm not worried about that side if I've established that relationship enough with my manager and I'm comfortable in my own skin. And then I will also know that she'll figure out if I ever leave, she will be up to creek. And that's the point. Is that you have to really understand, you have to be confident enough in your own performance that everything will take care of itself. And if you do the other things like networking, all those other things we talked about,